As a DJ.
Yo, so as a DJ.
So if you've been on Threads anytime in the past year, you've probably read or seen the discourse of folks saying, as a DJ. And typically what it is folks who usually are not DJs telling DJs what they should and shouldn't be doing, or DJs that don't necessarily have enough experience to be guiding folks as a DJ. So I thought I'd take a minute as a guy that's actually been a DJ for 20 years now to give a couple of my core foundations as a DJ. So as a DJ, you can put yourself way farther in the game, ahead of your peers, at the top of the list to get rebooked, and overall farther in a successful position simply by understanding the technology that revolves around the DJ industry slightly more than the average person. And that doesn't necessarily mean an insane amount of IT work. It doesn't mean, building all of this stuff from scratch. What it does mean is basic troubleshooting skills, understanding the functions of the gear that you're using. What do these controls do? What are these ports in the back? What do these cables do? How do I hook up a set of CDJs? How do I plug in a set of turntables? How do I reset the settings for my controller in the utility panel on my computer? There's a lot of things that could put you farther ahead. There's been a lot of talk about Record Box and the good sides and the bad sides, but the guys who really got it figured out, they have just a smidge of troubleshooting that the others don't have. Another one that I'll tell you as a DJ is don't rely on alcohol to fuel your performance. If you feel like the only reason you're good at what you do is because of the alcohol, or you're only social because of the alcohol, or you can only show up because of the alcohol, it's a race to the bottom. The chances that you're going to get a big break or that someone's going to come and change your life based on those performances are way less likely than the chance that your body is going to give out on you, or your family's going to be destroyed, or friendships are going to be destroyed, or business relationships are going to be destroyed. The negative effect comes far sooner than the positive effect ever could. So have a drink now or then. I'm not saying don't drink, but if you're heavily reliant on alcohol for your performance, I would highly encourage you to train yourself out of that. And I do believe that you can train yourself out of it with just a bit of self-discipline. Also, as a DJ, I would say don't be scared, don't be ashamed, and don't be worried about juggling your day job along with your night job. If you have a day job and you're pursuing a career in DJing and you're not quite sure if it's okay to quit your day job yet, don't quit your day job. Keep your day job, because trust me, I understand that for some folks there is no plan B. DJing has to work. I lived that life for many years. I was successful at it and it was amazing. It still is amazing. But trust me when I tell you that I've been in this situation, and many others that I know right now are currently in this situation. Not having a day job, being reliant on 2 or 3 normal residency gigs within their town, and it becomes this trend or this hamster wheel that they begin to despise, where if the club owner needs them to take a night off, they no longer can pay their rent. If there's a snowstorm or some type of issue out of their control that they can't perform that night, then now their car note doesn't get paid, or they can't put food on their table. God forbid, they can't provide for their family. So with that being said, it is a lot to juggle having 2 jobs at a time, 3 jobs at a time. But if it allows you the freedom to show up and DJ at the places that you truly want to be at, and to not have to lose any sleep or worry when it doesn't work out, or you're in between opportunities, or anything, any of the million things that could happen in the DJ world, I'd say hang on to that as long as you can. Now, maybe there's a point where it's no longer viable for you to do both, and you have to pick one. By all means, pick the path that fulfills you the most, that answers your dreams. But I would say give it some time before you jump into that, and make sure that your day job is helping provide the security needed to blaze a path for your DJ. Don't get trapped in the hamster wheel that goes nowhere, and you're forcing yourself to show up every single weekend to gigs that you're beginning to hate simply because of the small amount of money that it provides. Also, as a DJ, I would say prioritize your friendship, prioritize your family, prioritize your relationship. These are all things that I see DJs throughout the years slowly lose to DJing. And then at the end of the day, they've DJ'd 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and they've reached a point where they either can't do it, they've grown out of it, they phased themselves out of it, their city's changed, and it's no longer a thing that they can do anymore, and they're lonely. They have no family, they've alienated their friends, they've alienated their relationship. At the end of the day, you can always find a creative outlet. You'll never be able to rekindle the bond with your children if you didn't show up for them. You'll never be able to, and maybe you will, but it's going to take some work, rebuild that friendship with the friends that you put on the back burner. Now, by all means, it's every man for himself, and we're out here chasing our dreams, and hopefully our people understand that. But I think you understand what I mean when I say, don't miss your kid's soccer game. Don't miss your anniversary. Don't be late for Christmas. Those things that keep you grounded as a core part of your community, you need to show up for those things as passionately as you would your DJ gigs, because when it's all said and done, those things may be the only thing you have left. And plus, I think it's just being a great person. So as a DJ, I hope this was helpful. And as a DJ, love you guys. Peace.